Hello, everyone. This is Barbara Iris Alsieux of Parental World Knowledge. I want to welcome everyone. We're going to be cooking a nice vegetable soup today. I have some leeks and some other wonderful vegetables that we're going to be putting in this great soup. And there's not going to be any meat. It's just going to be total vegetables. And I have some wonderful herbs that I'm going to also be including. So I'm going to start right now getting all the ingredients and let you know as we go along. You're going to need a large pot. So whether it's a porcelain pot or a glass pot, whatever you have. I have some lovely glassware that came from France, just exquisite. And whatever you have, like I said, it has to be a large one with a lid. All right, so I'm going to start getting the pot out. And I love this because this, like I said, is from France. It's all glass. It's beautiful cookware. I'm going to fill the pot with, I would say 3/4 of the water should be in this pot, so 3/4 of the way. And you're going to boil the water first, and then we'll start putting in all our veg. Okay, excuse me. I always rinse it out, even though it came from the dishwasher. I still never know. And even I use the best dishwasher detergent, one that says it's safe, but dishwashers don't always wash every bit. You never know. The water from the water company just stops in the middle, coming out. Sometimes it's strong and sometimes it gets weak. You want to be sure. And use purified water. I'm using purified water right now. It takes a little longer to fill, but I don't use regular tap water. What they have in that tap water, you would not want to use. They're not using the filter system most water companies that they used years ago. They stopped doing that, and so now we're getting the hardest and unfiltered water. It's terrible. I think it's a little bit more too. Keep it on medium flame. Now I have leeks that are frozen. Now, that's the best way of keeping them fresh. So I have fresh frozen leeks in my freezer. Get these ones. And these are quite nice. You see, these are organic. Now these are sliced so that, I don't have to be doing any slicing right now, which is good. I would suggest to still rinse it with some purified water. So if you don't have them ready slice up your leeks, because this way it'll be a little quicker making your soup. Now I have a full bag here, so I'm going to put in, I think, about a third of this bag for the leeks. Okay. These are all my recipes. I'm just making them up as I go along. In case you don't have a bag, I'll tell you the size of this. It's a 16-ounce, 1 pound. So I'm saying I'm using a third of a pound, okay? I met the nicest guy today. He has a contracting business. He does driveways. Well, I told him, gee, I would love to have you, but I just don't have the funding right now. I just did a lot of remodel in my house. And I said, soon, things will be settled and hopefully I'll, get the funding. So he's offered to do right now, patch up my stoop. I don't even have the funding yet. He's willing to do that. My gosh, what a man. He's from Ireland. He has a delightful Irish accent. And I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted what happens. If he said he's going to do it. I hope. And I'll tell you, I will hire him. I will tell you all about it, when they finally come here and do it, patch it up. It's just on the side, really, one side, but there's a little bit on the other side, the right side too, but mostly on the left. and he's willing to patch it up just in time, and then he's going to hire him for the whole job, of course. So that was so wonderful of him. God bless him. I'm going to put this back in the freezer. Keep your leeks fresh if they're frozen. And if you don't have the ingredients, write it down and do it next time. All right? So you can always, it's on YouTube. You always do a replay. We've got some butternut squash. And we've got some beautiful mushrooms. Here you go, see? All these good ingredients. Maybe some vegetable soup. I have two kinds of gnocchi mushrooms and nice big mushrooms. I have two types. So let me show you. Yeah, nice big. This is not marked. My son bought this. But I think that this is, I know these mushrooms I normally have with steak. I'm not certain which one this is called because he doesn't have it labeled, but it's enormous, just, and then these are the white ones, the gnocchi, which are like spaghetti. My dog just goes crazy for this. He loves these. See, little white ones. That's about a half package of the mushrooms and that one big one. And then I have the whole, I'm going to use the whole squash there. And I have organic. I've never tried this. It's another kind of mushroom. I'll take Hen of the Woods. This looks interesting. I better use it because it looks like it's going to go. I hope it didn't go bad. My son buys things and then, he doesn't always use them. At least I'm going to get around to it. Let's see what else. Oh, and I have scallions. Beautiful scallions. A red pepper. And a purple onion. A beautiful purple onion. Nice red pepper. And beautiful scallions. I'm going to have a good vegetable soup. And I have some coconut rice that I made already, and I'm going to be putting that with the soup too. So, later after the soup is done, I'll scoop some, I'll heat it up, and then I'll scoop some into the soup. So I would suggest make, this is the long grain enriched rice, and you cook that according to your package. I normally do it 30 minutes. They say 20, but I do it like an extra 10. I like it really soft, and fluff it with a fork. And then I put in my coconut syrup, which it's like in place of sugar. So I use a coconut nectar, it is. And that I would put in according to how many people you're having. It says, tablespoons. So say that's for 6 people, you would put 6 tablespoons of the coconut nectar in, and mix it in after it's all cooked. Of course, it has to be all cooked, and that should taste delicious with this soup. It really will. I love to have rice or noodles or something, and I even have, if I wanted, I have a different kind of rice too. If you'd rather have, there's also this kind of rice, but I have that cooked already. Wild rice you could use too, which would be excellent. I know my son likes this, and I probably will make some of this so he can have it with the soup. He doesn't eat meat. He eats just mostly our herbs. Wisdom herbs is what he eats mostly. But he would have a nice vegetable soup, and I'd have to make this. He wouldn't eat the white rice. I know that, even though it's enriched rice, he would like this. So if you're making the wild rice, you have to make it a little different than the simple, just putting the rice in the boiling water. This you have to rinse first thoroughly, the wild rice, then cook it. So this will have to be first rinsed until you see it's clear, and then you're going to, put it in the boiling water and cook it. And I would probably, because it's a big soup. According to this, it says make 3 cups of cooked rice, and I probably have enough rice, because really, if you're making a huge soup and it's going to fill to the top, I would have extra rice. My rice that I have there, I have about 3 cups of the enriched white rice. I happen to like that at times, and I use this too. But this is good, very good with a vegetable soup. My son would love this. So I'm going to make that too. I know he wanted the other. And with the herbs and things, well, I have, and actually I have fresh cilantro too. I'm going to have to look at it to see if that's good. If not, I have the herb cilantro. I would use sea salt, seasoned to your taste. I would use a little garlic. I would use, in addition, thyme. And I would put in some sage. And I would also put in, let's see, what else do I have that's really good? Basil. I want some basil in there. So that's what I'm going to put in, my spices, and you season to your taste. I don't want to tell you how much to put in. According to the way your family likes things, that's what I would do. All right, so now the leeks are in there, and I'm going to start now getting my cutting board. I didn't have to cut that, but I have to cut all this. And actually, I have 2 cutting boards, because I tell you, you run out. Sometimes, you dirty one, and then you need one in the day. This might be in the dishwasher. So I would, advise to get 2, because it's so dangerous to use a plate. I try to mostly use my cutting boards. They always cut away from you when you're cutting. Oh, the leeks smell so good. Oh, my. The aroma, it's just beautiful. The aroma is like, it's heaven. It is heaven. I've never made a soup with leeks. This is my first soup. I saw he bought the leeks, and I go, I'm trying it. It's organic leeks. Sounds good. Now I would use about 6 scallions, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly what I have here. And I always take off the bulb part, so you just can break that off. You don't even have to cut that off. It snaps right off. And wash it well because it is definitely not very clean. It seems that it's fresh, organic, but and you could even take off some of the top part if you see that it isn't so fresh. Most of it is, though. But if it's a little, dark in color, I would suggest to peel that off. Well, wash it good with your purified water. Rub it. Turn it over on the other side. That's it too. And rinse it again. Squeeze off the excess water. Oh, that does smell so good. I didn't even put the herbs in yet. My gosh, this is amazing. And this squash is beautiful. I couldn't pick a better squash. Very, very nice. Rinsed it off. That's a beautiful color. Just beautiful. This is like really, really ripened. Yet it's ripe, but it's hard on the outside. What I'm going to do is, normally I just cook the whole thing in the oven when I'm making butternut squash, but I want to put it in the soup. I'm going to try to scoop out. I don't know if it's possible, because it's ripe enough to cook, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this out without baking it first in the oven. I'm hoping. I think I could. Let's see. I can cut it. Yeah, I can cut it. Scoop it a little bit and then I'm cutting it. But you know, if you buy it cut up already, they do sell it. You got to use it same day because it is not fresh enough. It goes bad so fast. So it's better, you have to maybe struggle and go through this to scoop it out, but it's worth it. Because it's not fresh. It's not that fresh when you buy it cut up already in the grocery store. Even if it's organic, it is not that fresh. My son bought it, and I personally don't believe in buying cut up vegetables. He bought it, and I know I have to use it right away. Same day. And since this is so ripe, this is so firm. I mean, it's ripe. It's ripe, like I said, but it's so firm on the outside. And the inside, you know, towards getting in the middle now, it seems like it's very firm too. It's good enough to use right now. But what I think I'm going to do is the rest of it I'm going to roast. I'm going to put it in the oven. And, you know, my mother used to make butternut squash, and she would always put some nuts in there too. It tastes delicious if you stuff it with some nuts. I know she used to use peanuts, but my son prefers, he buys walnuts, which I never tried in there. And then she would always put a little, it's called butternut squash. She would put a little, butter, or you could put oil, which we have delicious either avocado oil, a little bit, just so that, it doesn't dry out when you're putting it in the oven, keeps it, so it's more moist. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that in. And then if I want, I can add more to the soup. But now I have enough to give it a taste. And I'm going to start cutting all the other things because, it's too time consuming. Like I said, I've never used it before in my soup this way. I usually buy the cut up one, but he didn't this time. He bought the fresh one. So I'm going with what I got. And this, like I said, is a new recipe, so I'm trying. I'm experimenting. With the pepper, I would slice, thin slices, not too thick. And then you could dice it. I would rinse again with the purified water because sometimes, there's impurities inside the pepper. Squeeze off the water. And with the soup, it's cooking itself. Well, all the ingredients should be within a half hour, depending on your stove. My stove cooks very fast, and this potware, but it might be longer for you. Once all the ingredients are in, I'd say another 30 minutes. Make sure it's covered too. You should have about 6 bowls once you get done with all this. You should have about 6 bowls of large bowls of soup. And don't forget you have to add your rice too. I would put in each bowl at least, I would say about, well, the bowl, depending, I use large bowls, and I would put about a quarter weighed with rice. Depends on what you want. That's what I would do. Make sure it's well seasoned, the rice. Otherwise, it makes your soup taste blah. I put all the herbs in that soup. All the herbs in your rice. Also, all right, getting somewhere. Excuse me, I'm just going to throw this out. Oh, this looks beautiful. The soup is just coming along very nice. And if your kids don't like rice, you could even use some kamut pasta. Just make sure you make the pasta separate, following from the box, and then put it into your soup, when you're ready to serve it. Don't let it sit because then the pasta will get too soft. I cook mine, it's a 7 to 10 minutes. I would even suggest make it 7 because you're going to be putting it into that soup. If it seems firm enough, well, my stove cooks a little faster, so it might be 8 or 9 on your stove, depending, or maybe even 10. But it should be firm, not real soft. It has to be firm, your pasta. I make it within 7 minutes. I turn it off if I'm going to be putting it in soup. If I'm just going to use it to put with sauce, I cook it 8 minutes. So just so you know. And by the way, for the wisdom herbs to keep you healthy, besides eating all this great food, it's only $40 a bottle now, and every time you buy another bottle, we reduce it by $10. So the more you buy, the less expensive, until the fourth bottle, then we give one free. So really, it's a fantastic thing. I'm not going to answer it. I've got an answering device on now. Unless it's an emergency, and I'll answer. Every time I do answer is if I'm doing energy scans, and then I'm, having to deal with having to talk with the public, obviously one-on-one. So obviously I have to answer the phone. But at this, when I'm doing cooking, I don't want to start answering the phone. Anyone who wants to reach me, call me 9 to 5, Monday through Sunday. Squeeze off the water again. Oh, this is beautiful. This is some nice onion, purple onion. No imperfections. Looks good. Take all the peels off, of course. Okay, almost done. Get there. And I can't believe this soup was done so fast. Really good. Just my mushrooms now and my I don't know if that's good, so we have the spice of it just in case. We'll see in a minute. Now I have the cilantro. Enough in there, definitely. You cut off the bottoms of the enoki mushrooms. And that black stuff should be off. Shake it off well and squeeze it well. The mushrooms absorb a lot of water. Okay. I'm going to go for the next one. Okay. Squeeze it off well. Remember, mushrooms absorb a lot of water. So soft that I'm going to have to slice it. Okay, now I'm going to get the other one. I don't know if the hen mushroom is good, but we'll see. If it doesn't look good, we're not using it, of course. And I'm not certain that this is good. I really don't like the way this looks. I'm not using this. Not going in my soup. And this does not look good. I'm not using this. Like I said, I have the seasoning of it. So my son wants to use it. It's up to him. I'm not using this. I'm too fussy. It needs to be fresher. So now I just need the seasoning. Everything's. So I'll put the cilantro in. Again, sea salt, the pesto. Okay. Thyme, garlic, and sage. I use a lot of basil. Very little garlic because I found out it's a hybrid, and I just don't. But it's not bad for you, but it's just not, going to really that significant. It's not a bad hybrid, but it's not that significant in being for your health. Just do it for a little taste. Okay. Smells yummy. Now I'm going to put my lid on. It's good. So as I said, 30 minutes, according to my stove, which I'm high elevation and my stove cooks fast, so has power boost on my stove, so 30 minutes for me, but you might, want to cook it more. The vegetables have to be soft. As long as they're soft, then it's done. Okay, so you could stick a fork to see if you feel it's soft, then your soup is done. And you want to have flavor too, so you want it to be really, really cooked in there. You don't want it not to have some flavor, obviously. And like I said, I put a lot of herbs in there. And I'm going to cook the rest of the squash, and I'm going to be making that rice next. That's about the only other thing I have to do. So I'm just going to throw this out. Excuse me. And I would stir it, halfway, get it all the seasoning and herbs and on there and everything. And with the squash now, like I said, I'm going to take a little casserole dish and I'm going to put it in my oven. So I'm going to put this oven on 350. Let me take out my pots in there. I have some pots because I don't have room for all the pots. These are all clean. And you notice I always open the oven first right away before I get it going. It's not even heated up yet. But I leave it open for a little bit because, God forbid, if anything goes wrong with your oven, if you have an older oven, you have to let the gas out first. So always leave it open for a while. Make sure before you turn that on, always open your oven and let it air out. Because once I was living in an apartment, it was an older oven, it exploded. And, I even opened it first, good thing it didn't explode a fire. But I opened the oven first before turning it on. And oh my gosh, thank goodness that I did, before it turned on, because there was something wrong with it, obviously. And so it's a miracle. No one got hurt. Nothing caught on fire because I opened it first. Always let the gas escape. Could be gas that's still in there from the prior time of using it. So always open the oven first before you turn it on. And use pot holders. Look, my son bought this for me. I had a paid vacation from work, and it's a lovely little pot holder from Peru. I just like it so much. Perfect for me. finally, I have new pot holders. I haven't, we had the same pot holders. It's hysterical. I had them for 20 years. I finally threw them out. They were really good ones. They weren't cheap. They were very expensive, but they wore out. And I said, that's it. I got my new ones. And these are new, but they're not like the ones before. The ones before were really thick. These are thin. So you got to be careful with the ones they make today. I say to use pot holders, but still, they're not the best. So what I do is I leave the oven open and let it cool off a little bit before, when it's all cooked, do that, because you could burn your hand if these aren't thick enough and it's really, really hot. So now I've got my oven almost heated, and I'm going to get a pan, excuse me. One of these days, hopefully I get a butler cabinet. That's what I want, so that I can have a lot of room for all my dishes and things. But, my son said he would do that, but I don't know, if he's going to have the time. But I'm happy he did what he did. He did a lot of work on this house. I'm grateful for whatever he did. Okay. So casserole dish like this. I'm going to put that squash in. And I'm going to put some water. And then I'm going to put some oil too. The avocado oil. Again, use purified water. It takes a while. But it's worth it. You're not using water. It's not safe to drink. It's just not safe. True. If you saw what it did to my dishwasher, it just, we had a different detergent, and now I use a totally, safe one that says that it cleans better. It's not harmful chemicals and all, because the water is so hard, and it was making it white in the dishwasher. Now there's no more white. You have to use one that says that is total, pure and safe. That's the dish detergent that I use now for, it's a powder, and that's what I use. Because I've tried everything, agents, there's like a soap agent with the other detergent, didn't work. Did not clean out. This cleans out, thank goodness. But I still rinse. I should. All right, now I'm going to just rinse this again. Yep, it's hot. Put some of that oil. I'm going to use the, my son likes the avocado oil. Put like 4 tablespoons. And I would season it too with all the herbs and things that I have put in the soup. Give it a taste. It's ready to go in. So I'll put this. And later when this is done, you just scoop out the squash. So it's easy to scoop. Right now, like I said, it was soft enough to get out until I got like a third of the way. If it was a little riper, it is ripe enough to use, but it wasn't ripe enough that I could just scoop it out. So this will scoop out nicely. And this is lovely because, like I said, you could put some nuts, and I put the oil already. You don't need the, of course, the shell. It's what's inside. Just scoop it out. One more. All right. Again, take the pot holder. It's nice and hot. Now let's put it on the lower shelf. So that should be done, I would say, in about 30 minutes. We have enough squash in the soup. That could be, some extra squash that you could scoop in. But really, it's enough for this soup. It's fine at this point. You can put the baked one in, of course not with peanuts. If you want to just have some extra, if you want to eat the squash separately as a vegetable, put the peanuts. If you're going to put it in the soup, don't put the peanuts or put, nuts. There is enough in there. This was a very large squash, so I used a third, but it's okay because I had the leeks, the peppers, I had 2 kinds of mushrooms, and the purple onion. So we have a good mixture there. And it has a lot of herbs in it. We're good. We're good. This should be all right. And if you, like I said, you want more flavor, you could put that in. And that's only going to be taking 10 more minutes. I didn't know that it was that hard because I just looked at it. My son bought it. And I didn't feel it. I didn't, if I buy it, then I feel it. But I didn't feel it was in the refrigerator. He just bought it. Now I'm going to be doing my rice. I have like the other rice ready. And this is going to be done soon. This is almost completely done. I'm just going to get rid of this stuff. And you can put a little to sweeten up your soup too, because of the squash and everything. Some of my coconut nectar I'm going to put in there. I'm going to make it a little sweeter because I'm not using meat or chicken or something in there, you know. And I'm going to make it a little sweeter by putting in some coconut nectar. Since it's for 6 people, 6 tablespoons. Okay. And now I'm just going to check this. I'm going to turn this over. Now this cookware, I don't have to worry, it's not hot, the lid. If the handle was hot like other pots get, my porcelain, then I would take the pot holder. But these, they stay cool, fortunately. Unless you're cooking something a very long time, then it could be hot and I would use the pot holder. But I just had it in for about 15 minutes, so. Oh, this is lovely. I just want to show you how that looks close up. It looks yummy. Oh, it smells delicious. Make sure you don't leave a spoon in there. It has to be taken out because you don't want it melting. Next thing I'm going to do now is the rice, and I'm trying to think what pot I want to use. I'm going to use my glass ones. The other one in the dishwasher. Remember, rinse the wild rice first before cooking it so it runs clear. since I have my other rice, I'm not making the whole thing 3 cups, but you would, if you were using just this rice. I'm just going to put enough portion for my son. That's enough. Just leave a little space so you can pour out the water. You do it again. And now I'm going to add the water to cook it. All according to your package, what it tells you. And when that boils and you go from the time of that to cook, should be another 20 minutes depending on your stove. And go by your package what it tells you too. Maybe I like 30, really 10 extra minutes, because my stove cooks fast. So mine could be done at 20, but I like it to be 30. I like it softer. And the soup is coming out fantastic. So now everything is put up. I just have to now wait for everything to be done. It's going to be a little while. And I just want to say a miraculous healing prayer for everybody. We went over a little bit of a time, but I do want to say of good peace, good spirit, good health, good strength. And there should be no more of these disasters, what's going on in the world. There's just so many things and fighting and everything. I just hope and pray for everyone. There's peace. And I still haven't heard from a boyfriend of mine that, we haven't even started dating. I just contacted him. He wanted to be my boyfriend, and I just contacted him, and he's in the Army. He's a surgeon, and I spoke to him every day just about before when we were just friends, and now I haven't heard from him for a week. He was asking me, repeatedly to go out with him, and I was faithful, and I didn't, because I was dating somebody, one person, And now that I did, I can't. I hope and pray everything's all right because he's in the Middle East. So, oh gosh, pray for him. Pray for that everything should be fine. I'm not even going to think anything negative. I'm just going to believe that he will be fine. That he just if you're a surgeon, you do have to be mobile and be traveling. He has to go where they need him. It's not like he just stays in one spot. So if they go on maneuvers and they need him, then he has to go. So, and he's retiring soon. So I mean, I'm just going to think positive thoughts. He will come home and retire soon, and everything will be good. But at any rate, I thank everybody for tuning in. I thank everybody for referring people, and I'm just very grateful that you do. And I hope that you can do this soup. It is delicious the way this smells. I mean, I've never made with leeks, and I can't wait to try this. I think this will be a hit. And you could put even a little broth in if you prefer. My son is a vegetarian. I can't. I would actually put broth in that. I would actually, I'd make chicken soup and then I would put some of my broth in there. Or if you have you can buy broth. They have, wonderful organic broth that they come in containers and you can buy it and put a little broth in. I would prefer to do that. But this is my son and he won't eat it. So I have to cook what he wants. And if I want to add, I do have some broth I can add. So I'm just letting you know if you, prefer to have the broth to give it a little more flavor. I fortunately have some broth. So I'm always keeping things, just in case I want to, make it my way. I won't put it in his, but I will put it separately. I'll heat my broth separately in another pot and then just add everything to it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to put unless you want, everybody wants broth. You can keep it just vegetable and heat up your broth separately. And who wants the broth, you'll have that heated up once this is all cooked and just put the vegetable soup with the broth. That's all in a separate bowl. Simple. We please everybody. We have to. All right. So thank you so much. Have a good night or a good day, depending on where you are.